Well, Steve Arts 89. Well, Avatar is heading into its second weekend. It's Friday here in Australia. And it has made $609 million worldwide. Domestically, it's made 183, and internationally 426. So that's good, but it's less than what people were expecting. There's a lot of conjecture about why and how it's going to go. The assumption for the positive people is that the show's going to have legs, the movie's going to have legs, that a lot of people are waiting to see it in the best cinema as opposed to just going out seeing it on opening weekend wherever. People being a bit more discerning and saying, no, I want to see it in IMAX in this sort of, so, and there aren't a lot of those, so people are waiting and people are booking in advance further away, so we're not going to see the kind of drop-off second weekend that you get with a Marvel movie or something like that. And there is hope that word of mouth and so forth, that the film will leg it and have legs and keep going. And it doesn't matter if it didn't make all the money in the first weekend, because it doesn't have to do it in the first weekend. Like a lot of other movies, they have like a month, really, their cycle, and they're sort of done as far as the bulk of their box office. So that's the optimistic. And a lot of people are talking about China, how they're expecting it to make like 200 million in China. It made like 50 million or something. People are pretending like we aren't still in the middle of a global you-know-what, and China, is having a fairly turbulent time with that at the moment. And a lot of people have to consider this, not the majority, because the majority of people either don't care or in denial or, running with the conspiracy theorists. But a lot of people are cautious and thinking, do I really want to go into a theatre and spend 4 hours and just, proximity and all that stuff, when we're spiking and everything. So it is a factor for some people. Whether that means they won't see it or whether they see it later, I don't know, because a lot of people point out Top Gun Maverick, but that was mostly right-wing people seeing that film, and they don't care about the you-know-what because they deny it. So of course they're going to go to the theatre. They're going to go multiple times to support this film that they saw as, representing them. So there's that. But the other one was Spider-Man, No Way Home, and Doctor Strange, The Multitude of Madness. Those did really well. So the argument that, no films are going to do well because of the global you-know-what doesn't totally hold water, because, people, if they really want to, they'll risk it. But but you have to really want to risk it for something. And a lot of people, I don't think they are for Avatar, or they're waiting. They're like, I think I'll just wait till I can see it in a really good cinema and I can sort of avoid the rush right now. And I think it's going to have legs. I think it will. But it was nice to see Grace Randolph acknowledging the global you-know-what issue, because other people are denying it and acting like, they're just using that as an excuse because it's really just a bad film. Because what they don't like is that it's got an environmental message, and that goes against their politics of, I want to use the R word, but utilizing the world's resources for their financial benefit with no consideration for how that's actually going to affect the world and the environment and us and our children going onwards. But so there's political issues where people are against the film for various reasons and so forth, and then there's just regular people who are just watching it. But it's going to be very curious to see how it goes in the second weekend. Does it have the big drop-off, and does it act like a normal blockbuster and people are projecting and making excuses for it? Or is it going to actually work differently and people are going to come to it when they're ready and in the circumstances they're happy with, but still do it, but just not rush in the first weekend and sort of get it over and done with in just any sort of cinema, any sort of, with any sort of screen. I don't know. I'm not going to be seeing it, and I'm a bit worried that I'll be watching it on my computer. There's no way that you can replicate the experience that you get watching it in a really good cinema with really good 3D. So I'm a bit upset about that, because I did love the experience, the visual experience of the first film, because frankly, I can watch a film without a good story. I can watch a film without good acting. If it's got good production design and good special effects, that can be enough for me. I mean, I can distinguish between the two, but that's enough for me to watch a film and rewatch a film, frankly. There's a lot of mindless Hollywood films I watch just for the effects. I have no shame in that because I'm aware of it. I don't think that's a great film on that level. I know it's got flaws, but visually, I'm happy with the visual elements. So if all it is just spectacle, and no real story. They're just regurgitating the same one. It's not going to bother me if it looks great, but am I going to be able to appreciate it as well watching it, on my computer? Probably not. I think I'll probably watch the first film just to sort of ease me into it a bit. But yeah, I'm going to go for free to share, like, comment, subscribe. I just wanted to comment on the box office because it's doing fairly well per day. I mean, what did it make? 14 million the other day, 18 million before that, 16, 36, on the weekend. Sunday was 36, 44 for Saturday, Friday was 53, and the other days were all like 16, 18, 14. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm really curious to see what it does, and it's fascinating to see how people are speculating, and sort of it'll be interesting to see who's right and who's wrong at the end of it all.